Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'd like to thank Mitch and Jennifer for their time to give us a little rundown. I know a lot of our investors have been reaping the benefits of your expertise and hard work, and I don't think anybody really understands how hard the work is and complicated and all the factors. But dealing with the staff, the cities and the state, and uh, food bills rising and staff wages rising, and then trying to expand and get the right people and develop a good reputation in the community for the kind of properties that you have. And so we started out about 8 years ago, 8.5 years ago. They really helped rescue four of the properties that REO had. And those were pretty challenging properties. They were vacant, which means you have to go through all sorts of hoops to get a license from the state. That took about a year for each one. Is that right?
A little less than that, but yeah.
Yeah, so and repairs, changes, you had to bring it up to current specifications, things like that. And it's interesting, dealing with other states that we've gone to and looked at properties, even though we haven't bought them, we've inquired on lots of other states. Colorado is just got the worst kind of regulations, longest time period, and all that does is drive up the cost that we have to recover somehow, meaning in the rents and so forth. So I don't know why Colorado is so anti-senior housing, but they certainly are. So yet they complain that there isn't enough, and lots of Medicaid facilities have closed in the last year, and they can't understand why. And but fortunately, we've had a good relationship with you guys, and you've been all private pay. And let's see, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've got the assisted living and the memory care. Is that right?
Yeah. And we also have a little independent living at
Yeah,
Homestead.
that's right. Yeah, up on the Wadsworth property. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, this is quite remarkable. You went from 8 years ago, you had two buildings prior to meeting us,
Yep.
and now you've got how many buildings?
24 at the moment.
24 buildings, and that totals about how many beds?
About 550 beds, I believe.
Right, and that means a lot of seniors to take care of and administration overhead and things like that. So, and so how many employees do you have?
Right about 400.
So to go from whatever you started with, two homes to 400 employees is quite an accomplishment, and yet you look reasonably sane. So that's really amazing. So, um, our latest acquisition was the Scottsdale property, and that property, we got it at a good price, but it needed a lot of help, and we funded that to what, $1.5 million of carpet, paint, and updating the outside of the building, landscaping, just all sorts of stuff. So, but we think it's a good market and good bones in the property. So, for a moment, let's talk about the new possible one in Las Vegas. You guys went to see that some time ago, what, about 3 months ago?
Right.
Yeah, I think we saw it in January and
Yeah,
then we went out a
okay,
second time as well. Yeah.
right. And we just got the signed contract yesterday. So we started on that early on, but took forever. And the seller, what did the seller pay for that, Mitch? You had looked that up.
Yeah, I believe, I never got definitively, but I think it was in the low 20s.
Yeah. And we're buying it for 13 million. We did
Right.
see some of the correspondence between him and his partners, and the partners have to bring some money to the closing because they owe more
Mm.
than we're paying for the property. So, um, but and this property is quite unusual as compared to all the rest because it's in good condition. Vern and I and Jeff went to see that with you guys a few weeks ago, and I don't know where you could spend $10 in there. So it's quite the contrast. You know,
Believe me, Jennifer can find.
yeah,
She's got
she'll
plenty of
change the
ideas.
lights. She'll light the light fixtures. So
Yeah.
yeah, well, it's on your dollar, so that's all I can say. So anyway, but the staff seems to be good. What's the lady's name that's the operations head of it? Um,
Haven't talked to her for a while. I don't
yeah, yeah.
recall.
Anyway, she's been there since it opened, which was
Right.
what, 7 years ago. So we're getting a lot better building, and we are paying a higher price, but it is all
Mm.
memory care, so they charge more and so forth. So, and the seller is just not as hands-on as you will be, and we went through the income expenses and figured out there's some ways that we can eliminate corporate overhead, some things and so forth. Um, so, what do you have any comments about the building, the market, anything like that you'd like to share with us?
Sure. Like you said, the building is in really nice shape. Um, there's some small things that Jennifer would like to do to just kind of top it off and make it match our brand and put our little touch on it. Um, I think the area is a really strong area as well. So I think it's got those components that fit for a good acquisition.
Yeah,
And then in addition, just jumping in, the rates that the seniors are paying there are actually slightly below the market rates that you see in the buildings around the area. So if we're strategic and careful and we can maintain our staff, we'll be able to raise those rates gently, thoughtfully, and strategically with the families.
right, right. Okay. Vern, any other questions you can think of that might help our investors understand the property?
Mm, I don't recall exactly what the growth rate of 75-year-olds was there, but as I recall, it was pretty strong. I think close close to 20%, I believe.
Yeah, I've got that stat from the NIC program, and we'll have that on part of the slide. So yeah, yeah, I think it was 23% over the next 5 years. So yeah,
And the net in migration is solid as well, just for all demographics there too.
right, right. So
That is some of the numbers about the market and the property itself. But once we get in and we start doing the operations, the programming is one of the big pulls that Gardens Care can bring to any kind of building. We have some excellent programming. It's not going to be so much a renovation of the building and the environment itself, but it will be a renovation of some programming. Some things that have been very successful for us in other buildings is what we'll be putting into the building pretty much right away. The first month and a half is crucial for training the staff, giving them Gardens Care branding kinds of items, but then training them in our systems. One, to reduce the overhead from corporations that they bring, but also to give them something new and to do a gentle refresh in what they're doing and how they're working with seniors. Staff seem to love education and training, and they want to be able to serve seniors from their hearts, but with lots of skill. So we'll be bringing that in. We have a specialized activity program that we do with our memory care buildings. And then there's a new concept about a dementia village that we're putting into our buildings here in Colorado that we'll also be putting into the Vegas property. And really, it's all about giving seniors with dementia more choice, more options, and a fuller life. So been very successful. We're getting rave reviews in Colorado, so we'll be bringing that into Vegas as well.
good. Well, we're looking forward to another exciting success. And so, and the lease terms are the same as we've done on all the properties, 3 years, and then you can buy it after the 3 years are up and or continue to lease it from us at our minuscule rent that's not even worth mentioning. It's so small. So anyway, I appreciate your time. So we'll let you know as we progress, and we're getting the due diligence stuff, and Vern will send it over to you so you can look it over, Mitch. So would appreciate all of your um, assistance on reviewing that due diligence.
Sounds good. We appreciate you guys as well.
Okay, All right, we'll see you later.